Madam Speaker, Honourable President, Deputy President, fellow members of Parliament. I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul. There comes a time in every country's history when the brave need to stand up and they need to be counted. There comes a time when the people must have their voice heard and can no longer face the abuse of government. There comes a time when we must stand together and demand that injustice comes to an end and fight. Fight with all our might to obey, protect, and save our Constitution. As we teeter on the edge of collapse, that time is now. Speaker, to stand up and speak truth to power is not easy. When you know that billions and billions of rand are at stake, and those who were willing sellers to willing buyers in the feeding frenzy that was and still is state capture will do anything, and by anything, I mean anything, to avoid justice, one has to look deep for a source to steel your resolve and maintain your determination. I visited Robben Island, and while I was there, I was told that on the darkest days, when hope was at its lowest and the situation seemed the most desperate, our nation's father, President Nelson Mandela, would recite a poem by William Ernest Henley called Invictus. Invictus is an adjective in Latin meaning unconquerable, invincible, undefeatable. I now regularly read this poem when I require a boost in my resolve. I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul. Speaker, through you, I use the opportunity that I have today to speak to the President, not just as a politician, not just as a member of an opposing political party, but as a fellow South African. I am outraged and I'm frustrated, more than words can explain, at the blatant slap in the face that all South Africans were recently dealt when the ANC announced its proposed chairpeople of our parliamentary committees. I took it as a personal left hook to my jaw when I read with utter disbelief that the very man who was accused of offering a blank cheque to Advocate Vanara, the evidence leader in the Public Enterprises Inquiry into state capture at Eskom, will be rewarded with a chairperson seat. An ex-minister who has been repeatedly accused of interfering with the South African mining industry for the enrichment of the Gupta family will be rewarded with a chairperson seat. The woman who destroyed what was left of the SABC will be rewarded with a chairperson seat. The woman whom, without explanation, sold off the entire South African strategic fuel reserve will be rewarded with a chairperson seat. An ex-mayor of Buffalo City, who was found guilty for 9 counts of fraud, will be rewarded with a chairperson
Honourable
seat.
Mazzone, please take your seat. You are on your feet, sir.
Yeah, Honourable Speaker, the Speaker on the podium knows very well that to cast aspersions on the members of the House must come to a substantive motion. She cannot make those claims here and be left unchallenged. No one has been found
Point of order.
anywhere. Thank you.
Point of order.
Honourable Senator.
Madam Speaker, what the Honourable Member Radebe is trying to do is to inject the National Assembly rules into the rules of the joint sitting. There's no such rule in the joint rules. Honourable Mazzone has not mentioned a single member by name, and therefore her comment is within the bounds of free speech.
Please take your seat, sir. Honourable Mazzone, please continue.
Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Order. Order.
South African to South African, this is the straw that breaks the camel's back. This is that one step too far. This is the proof that the Zuma faction is still well and truly in charge of the ANC. And it matters not if the driver has changed, the bus is the same. We have been taken for absolute fools. Honourable President, as leader of the ANC, steel your resolve and dismiss these people from Parliament. Prove that you are indeed the master of your fate, that you are the captain of your soul, and that you are not being led by the nose by factions in your party. While the Zondo Commission completes its work every single day, We, the people of South Africa, are exposed to horror and nightmares, the likes of which play out in a James Bond movie. Trips to Switzerland to fill bank accounts, urgent medical treatment for premiers who are alleged to have been poisoned, stays and spa treatments at the Oberoi Hotel for business deals, midnight telephone calls to Paris calling off deals for our ailing airline, and these are to name but a few. Winter has come. The wall has been breached. The line of defense has become thinner, and those who are brave are systematically set aside. I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul. Now is the time for those of us who are still here to work together to make a real difference with real plans. Now is not the time for mere dreams. We dare not allow ourselves to be silenced, for our work is far from over. We have as our sword the mighty Constitution, and we have as our shield a brave and incorruptible judiciary. Now is not the time to accept the excuse that those are implicated until proven guilty. Now is the time to ensure that our oversight is in fact strengthened. This is a direct instruction from Deputy Chief Justice Raymond Zondo. We can start this actual oversight in the presidency in the form of a portfolio committee to oversee vote 1, as requested, I may add, numerous times by the Honourable Steenhuisen in the Rules Committee. Now is the time to sit down as fellow South Africans and not just dream of a future that we want, but actually create an environment that we so desperately require for our economy to grow and to succeed. It cannot be that state capture that is now estimated to have wiped out a third of South Africa's 4.9 trillion rand GDP no longer exists, but we're expected to celebrate the front-loading of 230 billion rand to Eskom. Mr. President, Denel has no money this month to pay the salaries. This is it. We have hit rock bottom. Our state-owned entities are broken. They are destroyed and they are archaic in their design. They are destroying our country's economy and they are making living in South Africa a nightmare and not a dream. We are at the cliff's edge. The dream has faded. The reality is a horror. Doing the right thing is not easy. Speaking truth to power is hard. But let us now bite the bullet and put a stop to the misuse of our state-owned entities for political gain. Speaker, the President himself has said he wants to work together. Mr. President, give us the opportunity to do just that. Give our ideas a chance. Let us put South Africa first. Beyond the wrath of tears looms the horror of the shade, and yet the menace of the years finds and shall find me unafraid. It matters not how straight the gate, how charged with punishment the scroll. Speaker, through you, allow me to end as I begin. Mr. President, now is the time to steel your resolve. You are the master of your fate. You are the captain of your soul.
Thank you, ma'am.